Hello and welcome to Christina's Cleaning and Homemaking. In today's video I'm going to be doing a book review, but first, if you're new to the channel, if you wouldn't mind, click below on subscribe, and if you click the little bell next to the subscribe button, it'll tell you when I have new videos up. Also at any point in the video, if you wouldn't mind liking it, that would be appreciated too. Now this book here, it's The Apostasy That Wasn't, and it's by Rob Bennett. Now I think I first heard about this book either on an advertisement on a blog or on Facebook, but it's really a great book, and it's about the Arian heresy in the Nicene Council. And it starts out with young Saint Athanasius. His mom is fleeing the Christian persecution that was going on, and so she takes him out to the desert. There are these men on horses that take the children that are brought to them out to the desert to keep them safe, and they are brought up and educated in the Lord. And out there is a fellow named Saint Anthony, and at a very young age his parents died and he was left with their wealth, and he had learned the Gospel of Luke, and as a result of that he decided to just give away everything, sell off everything, and he took his sister to some nuns to be raised in the convent and to become a nun herself, and he went out to the desert and he became a hermit, and he dedicated his life to God. And so these children were brought out to him, and one of them was Saint Athanasius. Well, the story then goes to the time of Constantine, when he converted, and in strengthening his Roman Empire, he legalized Christianity, so the persecution stopped. Now along the way, as the persecution had stopped, there was one particular priest, Arius. He is the man behind the Arian heresy, and he began to preach in his church that Jesus was created. And then, as time went on, not only was he created, but he taught that Jesus wasn't divine. And this heresy was causing a lot of discord. And Constantine liked peace. So when he noticed that there was this discord, he was pushing for a council to be called. So eventually the Pope did call a council, and all the bishops from all over were coming together at Nicene for this council. And Constantine sat in and observed everything that was going on, and it was quite the council. Other things that were discussed at the council was, who was Jesus? What was Jesus? And there was a fight back and forth between Arius and Athanasius. It was between those who were the Orthodox and then the Arian Christians, which is kind of funny that they're called Arian Christians because they didn't believe that Jesus was God eternal. They believed that he was created. And at some point, if you read the book, not only was he created, but they even questioned his divinity because, well, how could he be God eternal if he was created? And so one of the arguments was over the word homoousios, which that word is separated by, I believe, like one letter from another word. And in the Greek, the difference in those two words is the difference between similar substance and same substance. And the Orthodox Christians believed Jesus to be of the same substance as the Father, homoousios, whereas the Arians believed of similar substance, hence the whole him being created thing. And one of the parts of the book that I really loved a lot was there was this one particular bishop at the council, and he wasn't known to be a good orator. But there were these philosophers around, and they were joking and taunting the bishops that were there. And this bishop just sort of turned around and laid it out for the guy and said, do you believe these things? And laid out who Jesus was and what the faith is about. And by the end of it, the guy just said, I do believe. And this was a fellow who had been probably pagan at best, and he just had this confession of faith that, yes, I do believe. And he was converted right there. And that was from a bishop who wasn't particularly articulate, but boy, he laid it out there. And it was just so powerful. I think I actually read over that section a few times because it was very enjoyable to read it, to just see that happen. And the book also highlights a lot Saint Athanasius, because he goes head to head with Arius, and he argues with him, defending our Lord. The book also talks about how Saint Athanasius had written a book on the Incarnation, and the book goes over a lot of the battle at the council and the Nicene Creed that comes out of it, and then the various other creeds that come about as a result of the defectors, if you will, because there was Eusebius and a few others that went Arian, and it was like a plague that spread throughout Christianity, that people that were formerly Orthodox, strong Christians turned their back on it and went Arian. But the story goes along telling the history of the Arian heresy and how Arius was rejected by the Orthodox Christians, and even at Alexandria, how overall he was rejected, and it even talks a little bit about his death, which is kind of ironic, but if you don't know about that, I'll let you read about that in the book. But it continues on as far as the legacy of how Arianism continued to spread, and we still even see it somewhat today in the world, as there are various heresies that always seem to be going on, but this one particularly seems to flare its ugly head a lot. But I highly recommend this book. You can find it on Amazon, which I will link it below, but it's absolutely fantastic, very enjoyable read. It's written like a novel in a way, or very well written history book. It's sort of a combination of those two, because you get to see through the eyes of the various people. And it was written actually by a Catholic convert. So, if you get a chance, do check this book out. It is worth the time. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you look forward to more book reviews, because I will be doing more. And don't forget to click like down below if you made it this far, and also click subscribe.